Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Misty Hills Agriculture within FSN. Back here in the spring, getting ready to plant, but the first thing I want to do is pay my silage bill for the winter, which was pretty hefty. So I need to send $67,500. All right. So that gets us caught up there. Now, what I'm still trying to figure out now, I do have obviously things for sale. I do have $160,000 or so of milk between the two contracts outside that have sold. So there's a little bit of a challenge of being able to see, hey, I'm really making money off of this deal. Because right now, at best, it looks like I'm treading water, although this is probably the first time I've been below 1.8 million. But once again, I did buy that $89,000 milk storage silo. So just kind of doing the morning check here. So straw's not quite out, but you can see we're already down to 74.59, which is the bottom straw number. The upper straw number that's 0, in case you're wondering, is if I was doing bedding, which would then create manure. And I'm not doing that. I'm just creating slurry. So we were at about 18,000, and that was just last night, so probably no more than 6 to 10 hours ago. So probably today, if not tomorrow at the latest, I'm going to run out of straw, and we're going to be back in that position. There are no new auctions that have appeared since I checked last night, so I looked this morning before I got on. So we are continuing to move along, and we've just got one pallet of cheese that has appeared. So as I said, it's really going to be milk that's going to be the most important thing that keeps us going, but we'll have to see how that all works out. Alright, so let's get connected up. I'm thinking about maybe doing wheat, just seeing if I get any more. I guess I'm a little too far forward, or too far back, I should say. I need to move forward is kind of what I was thinking in my head there. So I'm not sure if I have enough seed. So it is a small field, so the hope is that I'll still be okay here. But we'll go ahead and lower. We'll turn on. And we'll start planting. This will either be a terrible option. And this definitely uses a lot of seed, but maybe that'll turn into a ton of straw. But at this point, I need to try something different, because otherwise we're definitely within the Einstein era of doing the same thing and expecting a different result, the definition of insanity. So I'd certainly prefer to avoid being insane. Sometimes you can't do that. Half the time with what I do here in Farming Simulator, I feel it's a natural state of being. Only partially kidding. But, alright. Whoops. I may have pulled too far away. No, I think I saved it. So, we'll get the edge done here. And I'm going to get off the gas, because of course the lag is getting me. And once again, kind of the normal route here as I start turning and getting straight. I've got enough here that I can usually get myself locked in. So there we go. We'll have a line that we can then go down the other side of the field when I come around. And then that will allow me to run the one line down at the bottom of the field and have that done pretty quickly. Alright, so we're set there. Turn that off so again we don't have any mistaken catches of the edges of a field or anything like that that suddenly become wheat when they should be grass. Alright, that was close, but not where we wanted exactly. But I want to max that out. Get this going. Turn it on. And this will get one of our really two lines down the field that we can go ahead and plant. So this is a very quick field to plant. It's not very large, hence the reason I'm struggling to produce enough straw off it. The crops really become secondary. I'm not even really focusing on what it is because, once again, because it's so small, the income is so marginal. I will say we're using a ton of seed, we're using a ton of fertilizer, so the oats are certainly less demanding. Alright, I just picked it up this time. I didn't go ahead and do anything else. It looks like I might have enough room that I can just... that's always the challenge. Because, yeah, we went 2 over. We're going to have a little bit left. So that's kind of why I normally would run twice. It's like I have enough room to turn. And that's not a lie. I did, but I just didn't have enough room to do it in a proper way. And then this is the last full pass. And then we're already starting with a bit of the angle on the field when I turn around up here and start coming down. So I think I'll have enough material here to get the field planted. And I obviously have to check the state of lime and see what's going on. And then, as always, we'll have to pop in here the next day and deal with getting the weeds dealt with. Because clearly they're here. And once we have crops, they're pretty much here to stay. But with the See and Spray technology, it works pretty efficiently. We can get that done pretty quickly. We also have that new Fernland, I think it's a Fernland sprayer, that will help. Yeah, so going this way will be fine. I'll just have to kind of touch up the field as I leave, I think will be my situation. But we'll be fine for the turnaround is what I mean, because I've got that break in the trees so I can go deeper in and not worry about catching on anything. But we're going to have, I think, that little bit left. Yep. So that was my concern. Now we are certainly close here. Alright. So it's not going to be much better here, but should... Oops. I guess I didn't pick it up at that point. I thought I had. So hopefully this will straighten out enough that all we have is the 1. If it goes over 2 again, that's where we have the problem. As long as it just clips over once, I'm able to get what I need. And we've got this little finger up here on the field, so this is kind of the way we've been working, other than, like I said, I didn't go ahead and do the bottom 2 passes. So I've learned that really would be best to avoid any problems. I continue to wait for field 24, hoping that that arrives, and that's my ultimate goal. And then I'm definitely at the point where once that happens, I'm going to get rid of this field. I really don't need it. It's more trouble than it's worth. It's certainly not an efficient field to work in any way. So I definitely am using this as a stopgap, and if I can find something that at least gives me enough straw. So there we go, we got that little bump that was there. And then we'll have this little piece, and then a tiny bit when I leave the field, and that will be it. So lower down again, that should be correct. So that looks good. Done there, and then again we'll head out this way and we'll catch the last segment down here somewhere. There it is. Just to be complete. I mean, that little bit probably doesn't honestly matter. Alright, so wheat will be ready about the same time. So the real question is just going to be, can it generate more straw? So we were really getting between 16 and 25,000 liters extra than what it took to fill the barn. And the barn takes, again, about, I think, 147,000, so we were getting under 200,000 liters. I think I need closer to 250. I just cannot imagine that there's going to be that big of a difference. But perhaps there will be. Alright, so the other thing, I'll probably take the auger down to get some seeds at some point. Right now, hopping over to the harvester, I just want to go see what the state of the lime is. Alright, it's okay. So I think this will be the last harvest before I have to lime, which also will mean it's going to probably produce the least amount of straw that I'm going to get. But if this exceeds what I was getting by the oats, then at least I know, hey, this is a better crop for that. So right now then, beyond that, I can go ahead. Slurry is what I'm talking about. So no, I'm still not low enough. I'd like to be able to get a full thing of slurry over, because otherwise there's just too much, and not really a way to do anything significantly different as far as sales, because I just don't have anywhere to dispose of the slurry, which is really disappointing. Ooh. Well, that's part of the challenge. I forgot wheat has so many growth stages. We got what we got at this point, and either way we'd be running out of material, so I think, you know, we'll go with it, because I've got to figure it out at some point what really makes sense. But then this means we're going to be late into the fall by the time we're done, but I'm definitely glad I had this planted now. Depending on what things look like, if this works out well, however, I could make sure I turn around quickly and plant the field in the fall and at least get a couple days of growth going before we hit winter. The other thing, though, that I probably certainly need to take a look at this point is I'm definitely getting very close on the hay. Logically, given what my situation is, so right now I'm fine. I've got 98,000 liters, and again, it may empty before, the straw may empty before I use that up. So I'll just leave that for now and not worry about getting any more hay over. But I may use this time that I have this year waiting for the wheat to grow to go ahead and do some grass work, get myself some hay, and that will help. So I think that's going to be the focus, obviously, other than just trying my darndest to keep the cows going. But yeah, I was like, could I find some place that's selling straw? There is no place that sells straw. Right now, I just may be stuck. You know, the benefit I'll have is We've got a good amount of food. We've got 65,000 liters. I mean, that's going to run a few days. So yeah, this will really be the test of, with the longer growing season, the higher seed consumption, am I going to get more straw off of the wheat? I just invariably, I swore I remembered. Well, no, now that I think about it, maybe meat? Goodness. Wheat was the most prolific in producing straw. It just tended to be less expensive because the yield was high as well because of the yield. Oh my goodness, I cannot make words today because of the seed consumption. So, since I'm having difficulty with words, I'm going to go ahead at this point and wrap this up. It's obviously a really short episode because I'm not sure I'm going to get back in here today to go ahead and work on the grass, but when I do, I'll certainly start that as a new episode anyway. So we're caught up with as much as we can, got the field planted. Minimum will be in here tomorrow to do some weeding, and that will be it as we wait for the field to grow as far as any attention that we have to give to the field. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off, and I will see you next time.